Good morning, Warriors. Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well. I figured I'd kind of do one before we got to start here, and hope everything is going well for you guys. Today is November 30th, 2022, and it's great to be able to kind of give another message. We gave a couple out yesterday. I'll try to do a second one if I can. I'm trying to kind of put a lot of the topics you guys are talking about in categories. So this week we're going to talk about women's attraction, and then next week we'll kind of talk about some of the mechanics of retention and some of the ideas that we talked about. There's other categories of God and semen retention. We'll talk about that, and then physical manifestation and diet and food. So I have probably 40 or 50 now topics. So thank you guys so much for your comments. Our elite group, 1%. Hopefully we'll get to 2% pretty soon. But you guys have been wonderful, and please thank you for all the comments. Keep making comments and talking and kind of giving feedback on things that you like and things you don't like, because we can change those things as well. And I like to try to make sure you guys are getting information, because the main thing is we get this word out. We get the information out. We try to kind of get people to understand more what reality is, more than just the fake stuff that we hear around all the time, and people talking and trying to get their agenda in some way kind of fulfilled at our expense. And so we need to kind of watch that and keep an eye on that and make sure we're not falling for the illusion. We had a couple people talk about that yesterday in the comments, and talking about the illusion of life. And we got to stay away from the illusion and once again look at the reality. And a lot of it comes down to energy. And I think that's what we kind of talk about. So Money Masur had number 7 had a good question, and is talking about the once again the idea of retention, and whether or not if you have intercourse without releasing, will that lower the amount of attraction of women. Now, of course, I don't have any kind of scientific proof on this and talking about this, but in my thoughts, in my mind, it does not. Because what ends up happening is really the attraction that we get, and we're going to talk about this in a second in one of our comments, but the attraction that we get from women comes from the fact, in my opinion, is that women sense biologically that, and it's more of a subconscious thing, I think, more than conscious. Sometimes they're not even aware that they're staring or looking or giggling, or a response is like it is. They just know that they feel a tremendous amount of energy or aura around you, and that is something that they're not used to, and not something that may actually overwhelm them. And I think that's what happens when women are focused. And you have to go back to, and I saw a nice video from Jordan Peterson again on this talking about the idea that women really have to pick. They choose mates. It's just biological, and they're going to choose mates that have high level of that possibility of providing that seed, that energy, that information, and having enough to be able to not only have children, but to be able to take care of the children, provide and protect and things like that. So they're looking for certain things. And there's a study that they were talking about on one of the podcasts, and that a lot of men would have no trouble with multiple partners. And that's kind of how men are. Men have the seed, so they understand that subconsciously. Females, on the other hand, have to be very choosy to pick those type of mates that they feel like, if they're going to have children, are going to be able to help raise those children. And this is why this whole world that we're looking in right now is really kind of misguided. Because if you have a lot of women who are having multiple partners and men having multiple partners, then you really kind of mess up the whole gene and pool system, and all of a sudden now women don't have that, are not making those type of choices, and so it becomes really kind of chaotic when it comes out there. And this is why we have all the problems we have with images and things like that, pornography and things like that. So we have to kind of make sure that from our end of it, our elite group that we have, make sure that we understand that. Now, some of that can be a lonely type of journey. Christian mentioned that, doing one on loneliness, and I think I'm going to write that one down since he had a good suggestion. Let me get my pencil here. I don't think I have pen and pencil in front of me here, but let me see. But maybe I'll do a pencil on my desk here. But we're talking about, I like that comment too, so we'll do one on loneliness as well. Where am I at here? Yeah, so loneliness and retention. So we'll do one on that one as well. I think that that is an interesting type of question, and I appreciate that, Christian. And I also, once again, all the shout outs, we'll give those in a couple days once I get them accumulated. But Money Restore 7 and Christian, I saw those kind of pop out on me. But the loneliness factor, you're going to have some of that. But in my mind, the longer you go on your streak, the longer those emotions don't affect you as much. They affect you more, and they affected me more when I was having my problems. When I was in my problems, releasing things like that, your anxiety level, those things heighten up, and so now you feel more of those emotions. And so when I was able to go on streaks and start those streaks, then all of a sudden that kind of dissipated, and that kind of went away. Now there's times where I still feel some of those feelings, but the thing is that you're getting so much attention in many ways, and people responding to you in such positive ways that you're really not going to have problems with that, Christian. I think that I would not worry about that. I would just kind of go on doing the things you're doing, interact with people, and it's a natural feeling. But I would say as your time goes on, you're gonna end up getting better and better with all those feelings. And most of us guys, as you get more into the journey, you're not gonna be able to. You're not going to have those feelings because you're going to have a lot of your nutrients in your body, and so it's going to fight off a lot of those negative feelings and things that you have. And you know that when you start getting away from this again, and you're going back, and because I had a lot of relapse situations, well, I knew that because I start feeling those things again. And so what you have to do is kind of just stay on track as best you can, and fight every day each battle, and move back. Remember, this is a lifestyle change, as DSM said one time, I think it was. This is a lifestyle change you're making. And so you're going to have fallbacks at times, but remember, the long-term goal is to become the best person you can become. And that means really trying to, kind of keep everything you have inside of you and building it up and building it stronger and stronger, so you have become mega powers, and people see that, and they can't avoid that. They're not going to avoid that, men or women. I don't care what age you're at. This is something that I think can go on forever, and especially if you also follow some Fountain of Youth stuff that I kind of always recommend, and exercising, things like that. I really believe you can live a long time, and you can be very attractive to people. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to take advantage of all that. So that kind of leads us to our topic. Don't give women the attention. Let's talk about Winchester and Fresh Start. A couple good comments that kind of lead us to this type of thing. So we talk about attention. The whole idea, my friends, is that you want to live a life in which you're moving ahead. You're going to fulfill God's purpose. You want to achieve things for the betterment of society, betterment of life, your life. If you have a family, their life. If you want to, in God's world, all those type of things are things you're doing to better yourself and the world around you. And so the thing is that you do a lot of this, and the idea then is that you're going to focus on not, women, and if you're a woman, don't focus on men. Focus on achieving the things you want to do for God. I believe God will find those right people for you, and be it because of your mindset, and you will attract those people. God will help you attract those type of people, and so those people will be in your life. Now, you're going to get a lot of people who are going to be attracted to you because of this power you have. And I fully believe this is a superpower, because this is something that I did not have for many, many years, and having it now, I can see a huge difference in how people react and how I feel. And how I feel is the bigger part of it. When you're keeping everything inside you, all of a sudden, as we talked with Christian was commenting, you don't have that sort of feeling anymore that I used to have. of depression or loneliness or anxiety, things like that. So now the key is going to be to move ahead and to keep doing the things you're doing. However, you're going to get a lot of attention. And both Winchester and Fresh Start really kind of mentioned ideas about the fact that you have to keep on your purpose. You cannot fall back and be tempted. Now, you're going to get a lot of traction. I mean, it's going to be very obvious to you that something is happening differently. And I see it all the time, whether or not I'm teaching classes, whether or not, I'm at a grocery store, whether or not I'm just walking around. I see it all the time, right? And what are some of the key things you're going to see? Well, obviously, you see a lot of flirtation. People winking their eyes or saying hi in a very nice way, or they're asking you about your wife, your relationships, or they're basically kind of talking about any sort of thing that is getting to you to say, okay, I'm available, right? Those are the types of things that obviously a woman who is looking for something, a relationship or something, is going to kind of do. And they're going to giggle. All these type of things are indications they're being affected by this energy you have. And that is a very flattering thing. And I'll take it from my perspective. Obviously, being married, happily married for many years, that's my perspective. It's very flattering because it didn't happen to me many, many years. And so to me, this is a flattering thing. However, because I have goals, I have purpose, I have other types of things, I'm not really interested at all in those type of things at this point in my life. So the key is going to be then, as Winchester and Fresh Start talks about, don't pay a lot of attention. Don't give them the attention with that, because what they want is obviously the attention. And the attention comes from the fact that you're giving them energy and they're sensing it. And they're getting wrapped up into it. And because women are very emotional types of people, they're going to respond to that energy. And if you focus your energy on them, it could actually overload them. And I think that's what we see. And that's what I'm talking about when you see giggling or smiling or just staring at you. All right? They sometimes can't handle all the emotion, but they love all the emotion because that makes them feel more alive. And I've seen this over many, many types of periods of time and talking with women, just observing over the years. Women are very highly in tuned. And so when they see that energy level, they want that energy level because they're attracted to that. On the other hand, what ends up happening is they could be very overloaded with that. So your key is going to be, because unless you really want to find that one person, and once again, if you want to find that one person, this is a good way to understand who is interested in you and who's not. But once again, I would not recommend, like a lot of people we see nowadays, sleeping with lots of people, because that's just going to hurt your energy level, and it's not going to help any kind of relationship you want to build with somebody. And why spend and waste a lot of time doing that? Now, of course, I have a perspective at 61. I did not have at 24, 25 years old. So I understand that. I understand why you guys do all this. I understand it perfectly, right? And if you have high levels of energy, which we do, it's even harder because now you have to try to transmute it. But transmuting is the key. Don't sit there because you're going to be dwelling about it and thinking about it, getting more involved in pictures and things like that. And all of a sudden, now you're back down in the hole again. So I recognize you have lots of energy. I recognize all that is part of our elite group we have. But, guys, the whole idea is that you cannot fall for all that temptation because you're hurting yourself. Now, once again, if your goal is one person, or your goal is getting married, and you get married and having children, that's a whole different type of matter. But, once again, you're not going to lose your power unless you are releasing to people. Now, we can talk about monk mode, which I think is very, very important. And we talked about edging before, and you don't want to do any of that kind of stuff. Monk mode is something you want to do the best you can with. Now, of course, monk mode is very hard. There is no doubt about that. I mean, this is what I'm struggling with myself. Monk mode is not an easy thing to do because now you have to give thoughts after all those years of thinking about it. Now you have to kind of completely stop. So I will go back and I'll probably get another 100, 200 days, and I'm going to still struggle with this again. But the thing is that you want to make sure first you take one step at a time. And my first step was go ahead and basically saying, no FAP, we're not going to watch all those type of pictures, images anymore. And then secondly, do not release. And as long as you do that, you become stronger and you build strength. Now, when it comes to interactions with women, you have to make sure that you're staying on focus. Keep your focus. Do not allow all those distractions to get away from you. Because they will. Because remember, once again, women want to feel that energy. That's why they're coming to you. As we've said in the last one, they're going to search you out. They're going to try to hunt you down. Because they desire that energy. This is why we call people vampire suckers, energy suckers. And they want your energy, whether it's emotionally, whether it's physically. And you have to guard your energy the best you can as an elite warrior. Because you're going to need that energy to fight battles, real battles. And you're fighting those battles with Satan every day. And whether it's, stress level types of things or just purely physical things, working, protecting yourself, defending your family, defending your town, your country, these things make warriors. And the key is, with the warriors, you're going to have to make sure you're at full strength. And you can't be in full strength if you're going ahead and giving attention to all these people around you. This is why we've said for years that coaches have had the right strategy of not allowing their players to have intercourse and things like that before they actually go ahead and partake in a sporting event, because it lowers their energy level and it makes it difficult. So again, don't give attention to women, because what they're going to do is they're going to focus on that energy you have. Unless you have that one woman that you're going to go ahead and be with and form a relationship with. That's a different type of situation. But women will come after you because they want that energy. It's just no doubt. And I've seen it over and over again. And it doesn't matter what age you're at. If you're doing this the right way and you're retaining and then transmuting, then you're going to have a lot of attention. But don't give that attention to women, especially if that's not your main person. And so Winchester, Fresh Start, a shout out to you guys. You guys are right on target. Please continue to respond. Let's keep focusing on this. And once again, we're focusing. This is our week talking about women's attraction. And we'll keep doing that maybe later today even, or tomorrow. All right, till next time, guys. God bless you guys. And have a great day. And we'll talk to you later. God bless.